Welcome to the Deep Dive. We know you want insights fast without getting bogged down. Today, we're tackling something called the remnants problem in manufacturing.
Mhm.
All those leftover bits, fabric, metal, packaging, maybe even partial batches.
Mm.
Stuff that often just ends up as waste. It can be, 5, maybe 10% of material costs for some?
Well,
Huge.
absolutely. And in today's world, focusing on efficiency, sustainability, well, handling these remnants properly is a big opportunity. We're looking at how companies like Denovo, for instance, use no code and AI for some really smart and quick solutions here.
Okay, so it's more than just figuring out a better disposal method.
Yeah.
Getting a handle on what's actually left over seems like step one. How are they doing that in, real time?
Yeah, the interesting thing is the shift to really simple tools. We're talking apps, often on tablets, right there on the shop floor. A worker can just quickly log, the size, weight, material type of a leftover piece. And because it's built with no-code platforms, it's super user-friendly. No complex training needed.
Ah, so that info doesn't get lost on some scrap paper. It's captured immediately. And then, I guess, visible to potentially anyone in the company who might need it.
Exactly right. Visibility is the foundation. And once you have that visibility, well, the next step is using it intelligently. That's where you get into things like smart reallocation rules.
Reallocation rules, how does that work?
You can set up rules, basically, within these no-code platforms. They automatically look at the remnants you've logged and compare them to upcoming production jobs.
Okay, wait, so the system itself can spot a match. It can say, hey, planner, that bit of metal left from Joe Bay.
Is exactly what you need for Part C in Joe B. Yes, that's the goal.
Hmm.
By integrating with the existing ERP or MES systems, these apps can send notifications.
Right, so it alerts someone before they order new material.
Precisely. You reduce new purchases, cut down waste disposal costs. It's a direct hit to the bottom line.
Giving leftovers a second life, essentially.
Yeah.
I'd also came across this idea of a remnant marketplace.
Yeah, think of it like an internal eBay, but for surplus materials. Again, using no code, a company can spin up an app pretty fast where one plant or division lists excess stuff, and another division that needs it can just claim it internally.
That sounds incredibly practical, especially for larger companies with multiple sites. Avoids buying something they already own, basically.
Exactly. And it's a great story for sustainability, too, right?
Yeah.
Much better resource utilization.
Makes sense. But how do managers track if this is all actually working? Are there dashboards?
Definitely. That's another strength of these platforms. They can connect to the different systems, ERP, MES, maybe warehouse data, and pull it all together into real-time dashboards. Managers can see, remnant generation trends, how much is being reused, the cost savings.
So actual data for making decisions, not just guessing.
Right. It drives continuous improvement. You can see where the biggest waste streams are and target those.
And I think I saw something about dynamic job routing too. Adjusting schedules based on remnants.
Yes, that's a more advanced capability, but very powerful. Imagine you suddenly have a good amount of a specific remnant. An integrated no-code app could potentially suggest adjustments to the production schedule, or even simulate making a slightly different product variation that could utilize that surplus material effectively. Maybe prioritize jobs needing that specific material.
Wow, that's real agility. Okay, but what about companies running big established systems? You mentioned Denovo works with JD Edwards, Oracle Cloud. Is it hard to plug these no-code apps into those beasts?
That's often a concern, but it's actually much smoother than you might think. Companies like Denovo understand those core systems deeply. They use APIs, basically ways for software to talk to each other, to read and write data safely. So you're extending the capability of your JDE or Oracle system, maybe adding a mobile front end for remnant tracking without, a massive traditional development project. And crucially, it respects all the existing business rules already built into those core systems.
Okay, let's pull this all together. For a manufacturer listening, what's the core value here?
Well, there are several key things. First, obvious cost reduction, less waste, fewer new material buys. Second, the speed. Because it's no code, the time to value is really fast. We're talking weeks, maybe even days, not months or years for deployment.
Faster ROI.
Absolutely. Third, the sustainability angle is huge. You're actively tracking and reducing waste, which is increasingly important. Fourth, you get customized solutions that fit your specific process without needing a giant IT team or budget. And ultimately, all this adds up to being more agile, using resources smarter, which gives you a competitive edge.
So we've explored this remnants problem, often just seen as a cost of doing business. But with these kinds of no-code and AI tools, it seems like it's shifting from waste management to, well, asset utilization.
That's a great way to put it. It really reframes the whole issue. And maybe that leaves you, our listener, with a thought. Where else in your world, maybe your industry or even daily life, is there hidden value locked up in things we currently treat as leftovers or waste? And what kind of creative thinking could unlock it?